Welcome to Savannah Unpacked. I'm Barry Marshall, and tonight we're exploring the haunted heart of Savannah, a city where every shadow has a story. Some folks come here for Spanish moss and pralines, others for the ghosts. Joining me is historian and tour guide Enocha Edenfield. She knows Savannah's ghostly legends like the back of her hand. And tonight, we're walking through history, hauntings, and maybe even something unexpected.
Hi, I'm Barry, and I'm here with Enocha Edenfield, and she is one of the best walking tour guides in the city, let me tell you. So, Enocha, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I have been doing tours professionally since 2021,
Wow.
which isn't that long, but I've been living in Savannah since 2010. I started working at WSAV. I was a news producer there. And I thought, well, I live in Savannah. It's one of the most haunted cities in the country. I've got some ghost stories. So I started making just some silly little videos about Savannah's weird history and some of the well-known ghost stories here. But that started to take off, and I would live stream at night with me and Vash walking around and show people what Savannah looked like and tell what I knew about the history. And people really liked the way that I was explaining things. So once things started opening up and people were able to travel again, people started asking for in-person tours. So I thought, oh, I guess we're starting this now.
Like so many Savannah stories, it wasn't planned. It just happened.
My first apartment here was haunted, the news station was haunted. So I like to say that the ghosts in Savannah, you don't have to go looking for them, they will just find you.
Wait a minute, you said WSAV is haunted?
Yes. His name is Byron. He's very nice.
I haven't experienced him.
You experience him more overnight because it's quieter, and he tends to pop up in the lobby area more.
Oh, I'm glad you told me that.
And during the day, it's really noisy down there, so you can't hear anything. But at night, you know, where you're working the overnight shift, we would hear footsteps and voices down there all the time.
The footsteps, I absolutely remember the footsteps. I used to work overnight producing Coastal Sunrise, and I would be in here by myself from roughly around midnight till 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning. Footsteps above my head. I used to go to the news director and say, Kevin, I am terrified. What's going on in here at night? Oh, it's just squirrels. Oh, it's raccoons. At night, really? I think it was a ghost. And then I heard the stories after the fact that there was a ghost in the building, and that made it even more terrifying. Never saw anything. Never witnessed anything in the lobby, but footsteps above me in the newsroom, I heard them every night.
But not everyone at the station is convinced. I asked our evening anchors Ben Singer and Tina Tyus if they've ever seen anything out of the ordinary. All right, so Enocha says that there's a ghost in here. Have you all seen him?
Never, ever, ever have I seen a ghost in WSAV right here where we stand in the lobby, or anywhere for that matter at WSAV. That's a new one on me. I cannot believe this story. 33 years? Crazy, right?
I mean, I can believe that there's a ghost because this is Savannah. What I cannot believe is that we worked with Enocha for years and she never said nothing.
Mm-hmm. You know you're wrong for that.
You're
Enocha.
wrong for that.
Yes.
That's right. You're not welcome here. Just in case it's not clear.
No.
That's right. Hit the road.
And don't you look back.
Well, some remain skeptical. Others at WSAV have had their own unexplained experiences. Kim Gusby, one of our anchors, remembers something she'll never forget.
When you talked to me about this ghost thing, you said you spoke to Enocha, and she said that, like, she knows her stuff, and she said that there actually is a ghost. That's something that I did not know, but I suspected for years, because when I first started working here, I came in and I was the only one. We didn't have a producer, so I came in and I was by myself. This was after the 11 o'clock people would leave. I would come in and I'm in this building by myself, and I would see things like shadows. I would hear things. So my routine was, when I got here in the morning, I walked the entire building and I would kick open doors because I knew that, and I would hear things, you know, like, what is going on? I had no idea that this place was haunted, but I believe it because you know, and normally I'm not that kind of person to say, but I believe it. You know, we are in Savannah. Listen, I've experienced a ghost here. Now, let me tell you, like I said, I would hear things. I would see shadows. I'm the only one in the building.
But you believe it.
No, I believe it. I certainly believe it. Considering Savannah's history with ghosts, yes, I believe it.
A huge draw to Savannah, even today, is the book and film version of Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. And back behind me is Clary's, which in the book and the movie is referred to as Clary's Pharmacy. It started off as a pharmacy, and later on, because of the success of the book and to some extent the movie, people started coming to visit Savannah. They wanted to see this quirky little town, and they wanted to eat at the lunch counter at Clary's Pharmacy. When we walk by, I'll show you, there's a little hint of the pharmacy left behind. On the back wall, there are 2 jars with green liquid in them. Those are apothecary jars. And that used to be a symbol of a pharmacy.
Even our pharmacies have ghost stories and Hollywood credits.
Not a lot of people know this, but the first 3 years of the American Grand Prix took place in Savannah in 1908, 1909, and 1911. Because with the American Grand Prix, not all of those racers who started the race finished the race. And not all of them left Savannah alive.
Fast cars, fast ghosts. In Savannah, if you die here, you don't always leave.
There was an incident on one of my tours last October. I had my group in front of the old jail. The entire time that I was talking to my group, I could hear something inside those iron gates pushing up against them. And it was rattling the chains, so the entire time I'm talking about this very haunted old jail, I'm hearing rattling chains in the background. And of course, my tour group has no idea that this is out of the ordinary. And normally if it's something little, I'll point it out. But with that, I didn't know what that was, and I didn't like it, so I don't think I've ever told those ghost stories so fast in my entire life. This cemetery is incredibly old. It's been used as a cemetery from 1750 to 1853. And after it closed, it was plagued by vandalism and grave robbers. It was also turned into a park for a while, and children were playing on top of the headstones. I think that the ghosts of this cemetery are incredibly protective of it, because at some point they figured that the living weren't taking care of it, so they would.
In Savannah, they say every city is built on its dead. Well, we just advertise it better.
A funny thing that the Christian school kids did after they moved out is they had one of those cardboard heads that you bring to sporting events, where you get like the head of an athlete and you blow it up really big and you wave it around. Well, when they'd been attending classes here, they would move the head and position it in different windows. One night I was walking a group past here. I'm facing them. I see everybody look past me up at the building and start to scream. And I turn around, look, what's going on? And there's a face in the window, and I'm like, y'all are fine.
Sometimes the scariest thing in the window is cardboard.
There was one particular ghost at Moon River that the servers there would not talk about on the property. At least they wouldn't say his name, because the concern was that if they said his name, that he would follow them home. And quite a few servers I've talked to have said that, yeah, on occasion, he would follow them. One of my friends actually got followed home by this ghost.
Oh my gosh.
And she asked her coworkers, like, what do I do? Because weird stuff's happening at my house. And they said, you need to put on your best 3rd grade teacher voice and tell him in no uncertain terms that he cannot stay at your house. He has to go back to Moon River. And she said it took a couple of days, but eventually he left and went back to Moon River.
So yeah, order a pint, but don't say his name unless you want a roommate. From haunted pharmacies to ghostly jails, Savannah never runs out of stories. Big thanks to Enocha Edenfield for guiding us tonight.
How can people find you?
You can find me on my website, EnochaEdenfieldTours.com. I'm also on Instagram, Eni Edenfield, and TikTok at Salt Waves Spanish Moss.
And if you love the haunted, the historic, and the quirky sides of Savannah, subscribe to Savannah Unpacked. Trust me, we've got more ghosts where these came from. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, one thing's for sure. At WSAV, the stories keep coming. Maybe the next time you're in the newsroom late at night, you'll hear something too. In fact, let's go check it out. I know the stairway to upstairs.